This is Tom Fox. I live in the Texas Hill Country. On Friday, July 4th, Kirk County saw the worst flooding it has ever seen. At this point, as I'm recording this podcast, nearly 70 people have been found dead, and there are many, many more people still missing. I'm going to ask you to please consider a donation to the Hill Country Flood Relief Fund. I've listed it in the show notes. I know it's a little bit unusual to make this request, but I can't tell you the tragedy that has unfolded in my home county over the 4th of July weekend. Thank you for your consideration. And now, on to the Daily Compliance News. The Daily Compliance News for July 21, 2025, the more reasons not to go to China edition. And we begin with that story from the New York Times, which reports that the Wells Fargo banker who was blocked from leaving China is under some sort of criminal investigation, and two more foreigners were prevented from leaving China, one a U.S. government employee and a Japanese pharmaceutical executive were imprisoned. Even as China wants more foreign businesses to invest in the company, this is certainly sending a chill. If you're doing business in China, I would think very, very hard about whether you would want to go there physically because there's a very good chance you might not come home. Next, from the Wall Street Journal, Meta says it will not sign the EU's AI Code of Practice. The Chief Global Affairs Office said Facebook and Instagram will not sign the EU's Code of Practice for General Purpose Artificial Intelligence because it adds uncertainty and goes beyond the scope of the AI legislation in the EU. The EU Commission last week published the final version of the Code of Practice for General Purpose AI that models providers can choose to sign or not. The EU said the code included guidance on safety and security, transparency, copyright to help signatories comply with the bloc's wide-ranging legislation on AI. EU lawmakers approved the AI Act, a law that bans certain uses of technology. Rules on general-purpose AI for companies will become effective as of August 2. In another slap at a European country, Elon Musk has said that the social media platform will not cooperate with France and French prosecutors who have launched what they call a politically motivated criminal investigation that threatens X's users' free speech. Earlier this month, the Paris prosecutors stepped up a preliminary probe into X for suspected algorithmic bias and fraudulent data extraction, enlisting the police to investigate alleged wrongdoing by the company. Based on what X believes, that this is simply a politically motivated stunt. However, after their Hitlerian AI last week, I'm not sure it's really just a stunt anymore. And our final story comes to us from the Coldplay concert in Baroglio. Yes, Andy Byron, the now former CEO at Astronomer, has resigned. He quit over the weekend after having been suspended for showing up on the big screen, a Jumbotron, at a Coldplay concert, swaying in the arms of another woman who was not his wife. Both Byron and the other woman, who was the company's chief people officer, Kristen Cabot, are married to other people. So what's the bottom line? If you're going to have an affair, don't do it on the Jumbotron. Over the July 4th weekend, we had perhaps the worst tragedy to ever hit my home county in its history over this weekend, and myself and my family are fine, but multiple others who lost loved ones, lost family members, are obviously not fine. So if you can find your way to help with any donation, I would greatly appreciate it. This is Tom Fox. Thank you very much. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.